Millennial Money Matters. This can change your financial future. Hello again, everyone. I'm your host, Ryan Jewell. And as one of my friends appointed me, your Chief Millennial Officer, recording live just outside Seattle. In fact, in Kirkland, Washington, on a beautiful fall day. The sun is out, and we have a very special guest with us here today. Not only a good friend of mine, but one of the most influential millennials in I'd say the Northwest.
Dude, you're way overstating, but I'll take it, yeah.
An amazing father, an amazing husband, associate pastor at Church Home, along with Pastor Judah Smith. And today, I thought we would take a step back and really just reflect on the Bible, what it says about money, and what our viewers can learn from you today. So David, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
So the first question is, why does the Bible talk so much about money more than any other subject matter that there is?
Yeah, well, even to back up from that, I'm not sure of the audience, of the viewership, what your perspective is on the Bible or money at all.
Yeah.
Taking a look at influence was one of the things he talked about. Regardless of whatever you believe, the Bible is the best-selling book of all time. Jesus, the most influential leader of all time. So taking a look at it from that perspective, spiritual things are discussed within the Bible, but you're absolutely right, Ryan. Money is actually the second most talked about topic in the Bible. And why is that? I truly believe it's because that God wants to talk to you about what matters. God actually has things to say about money. And money is a tool for anybody who's ever had any resource to do anything with. Typically, your money follows where your heart is. And the Bible actually talks a lot about that. So I honestly believe that what God desires is your heart. And a lot of times that's attached to our money.
Yeah, I completely agree. When we hear, we often hear that money is good. We hear that money is evil. But what is it about money that makes it good or makes it bad?
Yeah, that's a great question. And money in and of itself isn't good or bad, right? It's a piece of paper, it's a currency. Right. It's really what we choose to do with it that makes it good or bad. And God's perspective on money is that God, it's a resource. And if you take a look at the Bible and what God says about money, God gives money to people, and He actually gives these things called parables, which are kind of like short stories, hypothetical stories. And one of my favorite stories is about the parable of the talents. Yeah. And there's kind of a landlord, and there's three people who work for him, and he entrusts them with different talents. So one he gives 5, to one he gives 2, and to one he gives 1. And he says, hey, go take this, and would you just steward this for me? Would you take care of it? Yeah. And when I come back, I want to see what you've done. Yep. Well, one of them takes that 5 and doubles it, and they return double their investment. And the master, who's hypothetically God in this, says, hey, well done, good and faithful servant. The one who had 2 does the same thing. Yeah. The one who has 1 sits on it, hides it, and only has 1 to return. And they said, hey, you didn't steward this well. To one who has, even more will be given, and to the one who doesn't, even what they do have will be taken away. Yeah. So God wants to see us steward our resource in a way that makes it good. I honestly believe that the heart of God is generous, not to take, but to give. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions and misperceptions about God and money. Yeah. That's why I love that we get to even have this conversation today. But my actual title within our community is Generosity Pastor. Now, why do we create that title? It's because God's generous. The reason that we're generous is not to manipulate something or to get something from people. It's to give something to people. And so God so loved that He did what? He gave Jesus to us. He gave us a free gift of salvation, a free gift of life to whoever may choose. Now, people can choose to accept or reject that gift, but I believe that we're to live life in the same way, open-handed with our resource, saying it's not about the amount of money we have. I once, a very wise person who was a C-level of a Fortune 500 company, I said, what's one piece of advice you'd give to me? I was 20 years old at the time, that I can carry with me. And you know what she said to me? She said, David, learn to give when you have nothing. Because if you don't learn to give when you have nothing, you're not going to give when you have something. Yeah. And I honestly think that's true. So it's not about the amount, it's about how we steward it, what we choose to do with it, being generous people.
Yeah, well, thank you, and I appreciate you bringing up that parable again. Some people in today's era become, so to speak, the Solomon of today. They seem to have it all, whereas others don't. I think I remember one time Pastor Judah saying in a funny way, well, how come I don't have an Escalade? So why is it that some people end up having what the world would deem as riches and others not so much?
Yeah,